Did you think the Commanders were ready to dominate? This will blow your mind. First alert. A key veteran on special teams is on the brink of being cut for an unproven rookie? Risking the experience that saved us in playoffs for a project? This is playing with fire in the third phase. Second bombshell, the offensive line. Just hit the national radar with a Titan in the top 100. Why this trench monster could be the savior Jaden Daniels needed from day one. And third earthquake. Our franchise receiver is eyed by an AFC team for a first rounder, trading the only one who's been loyal during our darkest times. Just when we have Super Bowl in sight, this isn't just a rumor. It's a bet that could crumble the offense or elevate it to the unimaginable. Want to know what secrets the front office holds? Subscribe now, like, and don't take your eyes off this video for a second. Because what's coming, you'll never forget. After years of watching this team struggle for consistency on special teams, we finally found that reliable player we needed in McLaurin. This 36-year-old veteran, who arrived specifically to be our special teams ace, now finds himself in a situation nobody expected. And do you know why this is concerning? I'll tell you this. When you have a player who was a two-time Pro Bowler with Seattle, and suddenly they're at risk of being cut, something is drastically changing in this organization's mindset. McLaurin isn't just any player. We're talking about a veteran, heading into his 15th NFL season, a man who's seen it all in this league. His career has been an incredible roller coaster. He started as a linebacker with the Jets, played as a fullback with Detroit in 2018, was a starting linebacker with San Francisco in 2016, where he started 10 games, and finally found his true place as a special teams specialist with Seattle. Do you know what it means to be a two-time Pro Bowler in special teams? I'll tell you that it's not just luck. McLaurin didn't just cover kicks and punts, he was the leader of that unit. He was the guy coordinating formations, studying film late into the night to identify opposing returner tendencies, motivating the young guys in the special teams room. Last season, McLaurin played merely 7 defensive snaps, but his impact on special teams was undeniable. On coverage, this man was like a heat-seeking missile. His stats may not show up on the box score, but any special teams coach will tell you McLaurin was crucial in keeping that unit functioning at a high level. But then what's happening? Now I ask you, why is such a valuable player at risk of being cut? The answer has a name: Kyan Medrano. This 6th-round rookie arrives with a completely different mindset. While McLaurin represents experience and system knowledge, Medrano represents the future and development potential. Dan Quinn and his staff have been evaluating whether it's better to bet on the experience of a veteran who knows the system perfectly, or on the youth and long-term development potential. And do you know what's most interesting? That this isn't just a football decision. It's a philosophical decision about where this franchise is headed. Medrano comes out of college with all the physical tools you need in a modern linebacker. He's younger, faster, and has the upside that McLaurin can no longer offer. But here's the problem. How long is it going to take Medrano to learn everything McLaurin already knows? How many mistakes is he going to make while adapting to the speed of the NFL? The competition also includes Dominique Hampton, that 5th-round pick from last year who barely played a game. Hampton appeared in just 1 game last season, and guess what? He only played on special teams. This tells me that Quinn is already thinking about transitioning to younger players in that unit. Do you realize what this means? I'll tell you this is a sign. Peters isn't playing around when it comes to building a competitive roster. If he believes Medrano can provide more value in the future, he will make that decision regardless of names or experience. But here is what truly worries me. Special teams are one of those areas where experience is fundamental. An error in coverage can mean a touchdown that decides a game. A bad snap on a field goal can cost you a season. Are we willing to risk that for potential? Do you think it's smart to let go of a player who has proven his worth on the most critical special teams? I believe this decision will say a lot about Peters' philosophy. Because here we're not just talking about a player. We're talking about whether this organization is willing to sacrifice proven experience for unproven potential. The reality is, the Commanders are probably going to keep only 5 linebackers. In the 53-player roster, Bobby Wagner and Frankie Louvu are guaranteed as starters. Jordan Magee should be the third. That leaves room for at most 2 more players, and that's where it all gets complicated. If that surprises you, wait to hear this. Finally, we have representation in the NFL Top 100. Laramie Tunsil, our new acquisition on the offensive line, appears in the 86th spot of the annual list. After years of watching other NFC East teams dominate these lists, we finally have a player who's nationally recognized for his level of play. But let's talk about real numbers here. Tunsil, who was ranked 71 last year, dropped 15 spots. But you know what? I'll tell you that it doesn't matter. Because when Peters decided to trade 4 draft picks for this left tackle, he knew exactly what he was doing. This man has protected the pocket in Houston for 4 seasons, and now he's going to do the same for Jayden Daniels. Do you want to know what kind of player Tunsil is? I'll tell you. Last season, in 17 games with Houston, Tunsil allowed only 2 sacks. 2 sacks in the entire season. While other left tackles around the league were struggling against elite edge rushers, Tunsil was dominating his position completely. His pass block win rate numbers were consistently among the best in the league. We're talking about a player who won his matchups against some of the best pass rushers in the NFL. Myles Garrett, Khalil Mack, TJ Watt. All these names tried to beat Tunsil, and he came out victorious most of the time. Do you realize what this means for the development of our quarterback? Now I ask you, when was the last time the Commanders had an elite left tackle protecting their star quarterback? I believe we have to go back years to find that kind of stability. Let's be honest, since Trent Williams left Washington, we've been desperately searching for a left tackle that can be reliable. We've tried with Charles Leno Jr., Cornelius Lucas, even moved Andrew Wiley to that position. None gave us the peace of mind we needed. But do you know what's most impressive about Tunsil? His versatility and consistency. This man has played in different offensive systems, with different coordinators, and has always maintained his elite level. With the Dolphins, with the Texans, no matter the scheme, he adapts and dominates. The investment of 4 draft picks may seem high, but when you analyze the salary cap and realize that getting a left tackle of this caliber in free agency would have cost much more, Peters' decision is brilliant. We're talking about a player who would probably have commanded a contract of more than $20 million a year on the open market. And do you know what excites me the most? The combination of Tunsil with the rest of our offensive line. With Brandon Scherf at right guard, Tyler Biadasz at center, and now Tunsil at left tackle, we're building one of the strongest offensive lines in the NFC. I'll tell you that this is going to completely change Jayden Daniels' game. Last season, our rookie quarterback had to deal with constant pressure, especially from his blind side. There were plays where he had to escape the pocket before the routes fully developed. With Tunsil, that's going to change radically. Daniels will be able to go through his full reads, plant his feet, and make those precise throws we saw flashes of last season. Do you remember those moments when Daniels had a clean pocket? Now imagine that consistently. But here's what really has me excited. Tunsil isn't just an elite pass protector. He's also excellent in run blocking. His combination of technique and physical strength makes him nearly impossible to move on running downs. This means that our ground game, which was already solid with Brian Robinson Jr., is going to improve significantly. And do you know what's most exciting? This is just the first. Terry McLaurin, Bobby Wagner, and probably even Jayden Daniels are going to appear in much higher positions in the coming weeks. After years of national irrelevance, the Commanders are coming back to where they belong. Tunsil's presence in the top 100 is symbolic. It's the first time in years that a Commander appears on this list, and that means the rest of the league is starting to respect what we're building in Washington. We're no longer the franchise people ignore or mock. Tunsil will be the cornerstone for Daniels to develop his game without the constant pressure of rushers coming from his blind side. And when your quarterback can operate cleanly, the entire offense elevates to another level. But that's nothing compared to what's coming. And here comes the bombshell that's going to explode throughout the DMV. Terry McLaurin, our #1 receiver, our scary Terry, is on holdout, and trade rumors are becoming more real by the day. The Los Angeles Chargers are willing to send a first-round pick to acquire his services, and this has the entire fan base completely divided. Can you believe what's happening? I can't believe we're talking about trading the player who's been the face of this team's offense for the last 5 years. McLaurin has been the only bright spot in the darkest seasons of this franchise. And now that we finally have an Iowa elite quarterback, are we going to trade him? Let's talk real numbers here. Terry McLaurin, since entering the NFL in 2019, has amassed over 5,000 receiving yards and 31 touchdowns. But do you know what's most impressive? That he did it with quarterbacks like Dwayne Haskins, an injured Alex Smith, Taylor Heineke, Carson Wentz, and Sam Howell. I'll tell you, those numbers are absolutely incredible considering the circumstances. Last season, McLaurin had 79 receptions for 1,096 yards and 13 touchdowns. But here's what really impresses me. His chemistry with Jaden Daniels was immediate. From the first day of training camp, these two had a special connection. Daniels knew exactly where McLaurin would be on every route, and Terry knew exactly when and how to separate from coverage. Do you remember that touchdown against the Eagles in the NFC Championship game? That connection is irreplaceable. McLaurin ran a perfect route. Daniels put the ball exactly where it needed to be, and the result was pure magic. Those moments don't develop overnight. The Chargers desperately need help at the receiving core. Ladd McConkey had a fantastic rookie season with 1,149 yards and 7 touchdowns. But after him, the situation is concerning. Quentin Johnston showed flashes, but remains inconsistent. DJ Chalk is dealing with constant injuries. Trey Harris is a rookie who has yet to prove anything at the professional level. Justin Herbert is one of the league's most talented quarterbacks, but needs reliable weapons. And know what? McLaurin would be exactly the piece that could make Los Angeles real contenders in the AFC West. With Jim Harbaugh as head coach, they're building something special, but need that elite receiver who can make consistent plays. But here's what bothers me about all this. I'll tell you that McLaurin deserves more respect. This man has produced elite numbers with mediocre quarterbacks for years. He's been professional, worked hard, never caused locker room drama. And now that he finally has a real franchise quarterback, are we going to let him go? The contractual situation is complicated. McLaurin is in the final year of his current deal and wants an extension that pays him like the elite receiver he is. After seeing how other receivers of his caliber have secured contracts of over $25 million per year, he feels he deserves something similar. Do you think a first-round pick compensates for losing a proven receiver who already has chemistry with our quarterback of the future? Now I ask you, how long will it take us to develop that connection with another player? How many seasons will we lose while waiting for a rookie to adapt to the NFL? Let's be honest about what losing McLaurin means. We're not just talking statistics. We're talking leadership. This man has been the veteran guiding younger receivers. He's the one studying extra film, staying after practice working on routes, never giving up on a play. Remember when McLaurin played injured in playoffs? Remember how he managed to make impossible catches in double coverage? That's what we're going to lose. Not just talent, but heart, leadership, and clutch performance when we need it most. The Chargers' offer apparently includes a first-round pick, but is it enough? In a draft where there are no guarantees, where many first-round receivers fail, is it worth risking the stability we already have? And you know what's most frustrating? That McLaurin isn't asking for anything unreasonable. He wants to be paid like an elite receiver, because he has produced like an elite receiver. When you look at his numbers compared to other receivers who have signed big contracts, McLaurin has a solid case. If Peters decides to make this trade, he's betting that he can replace McLaurin's production with that first-round pick and the money saved on salary cap. But you know what? In a league where the quarterback-receiver chemistry is crucial, trading Terry McLaurin could be the decision that haunts us for years. I'll tell you, this could be a historic mistake. We're talking about a player who's been consistent, professional, and productive throughout his career. Now that we finally have the pieces to compete for a Super Bowl, are we going to dismantle the most important connection in our offense? The Chargers with Jim Harbaugh need to take the next step, and McLaurin would be that piece that makes them immediate contenders. But we, who just reached the NFC Championship game, do we really want to make a competitor stronger while weakening our own offense? Do you think Deebo Samuel can replace what McLaurin brings? I think not. Samuel is a talented player, but he doesn't have the same chemistry with Daniels, doesn't have the same consistency, and definitely doesn't have the same leadership. In the locker room, this situation has me completely divided. On one hand, I understand that Peters has to make tough decisions to maintain salary cap flexibility. On the other hand, how do you trade your most reliable receiver just when you're building something special? Commanders fans, these 3 news stories show exactly where this franchise stands. We have tough decisions on special teams that could signal a completely new philosophy. National recognition on the offensive line confirming we're building something solid, and the possibility of a trade that could change the entire future of this organization. The situation with Nick Bellore tells me that Peters is willing to make moves nobody expects. He doesn't care about experience if he believes there's a better option for the future. That can be good or bad, depending on how those decisions play out. The inclusion of Tunsil in the top 100 is symbolic. After years of irrelevance, the Commanders are back on the national radar. And this is just the beginning. Wait to see where Wagner, McLaurin, and Daniels end up on this list. But the McLaurin situation is what really has me worried. Do you think Peters should keep Bellore for his experience, or bet on youth? Are you excited to see Tunsil protect Daniels all season? And the most important question, should the Commanders trade Terry McLaurin for a first-round pick? I'll tell you these decisions will define whether this season will be special or if we'll take a step back. Because after getting so far last year, we can't afford roster mistakes. Every move counts. Every decision has consequences. The reality is, we're at a crucial point in this franchise's history. The decisions Peters makes in the coming weeks will determine if we're real contenders or if we'll need more time to develop this project. Like if you think McLaurin should stay in Washington, subscribe if you believe Peters will make the right decisions and comment which of these news stories impacted you the most. Because this Commanders fans family needs to stay united while our franchise makes these important decisions. Tomorrow we'll have more explosive news about the training camp, and you can't miss what's coming. Join this community that's more than a channel. We're a family that lives and breathes burgundy and gold. And remember, hail to the Commanders!